Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Mark, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be welcoming you to the final closing celebration for this year's 6th edition of Ideas World Cup. It's been an incredible journey, and I'm really happy to be joined today by a few people that helped us kick off this journey. Dr. Cindy Burnett and Tim Herson, welcome to today's webinar. We're so grateful that you can spend time with us again and give us a little moment to just kind of really reflect on what's happened through this diverse and energetic journey. So many organizers around the world working on this year's theme, how to inspire creativity and education. And of course, that's why we reached out to the two of you with your expertise and track record in these fields. So Tim and Cindy, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. So this has been quite a journey. It's been very exciting. There's a lot of energy still out there. But one of the things that we have noticed, Cindy and I, is that no matter how exciting something is, no matter how engaging it is, after the passage of time, it's really easy for memories to fade. And so what we would like to do is introduce you to a very simple but powerful tool that can help you anytime you're in a classroom, you're in an event of some kind, to remember what happened and prevent that kind of fading away. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask you a series of questions. And the questions will allow you to, in a way, tell the story of your own experience. And the more times that you tell the story, the more times you process the information for yourself, the more deeply you're embedding those experiences and those memories in your brain. So the questions are real simple. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. There's just your answer. And all they're designed to do is to help you literally embed those memories in your brain. But it's a little bit more than that even, because we're going to ask you about your experiences. And sometimes when other people are reading or listening to other people's answers, they say, oh yeah, I remember that part too. And so it gives you another way of remembering through somebody else's perceptions and memories. So that's what we're going to do. And Cindy, I guess we just start, huh?
Sounds great. So what we're going to need you to do is to grab your cell phone. So we actually want you to use your cell phones because we're going to be using something called Mentimeter. So I believe Mark can put this in the chat, the exact link you need to go to. But as you can see on the screen, you're going to go to menti.com, or you can use this QR code if that's easier for you. And this is going to allow us all to interact with one another as we go through this reflection process that Tim just mentioned. So what we would like you to do is when you go to menti.com, we want you to type in that easy access code, which is 6814104. And once you are there, if you could give us, if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, some of you are already doing it. If you could give us a thumbs up to say, I'm here, that would be wonderful. And if you don't have a phone, don't worry, you can still play along by watching. And of course, you could always submit your ideas later on. Okay, so here's our first question. And don't worry if you lost that number, because it's at the top of the screen on every one of these. So I'm going to kick off the first question, which is, what is one word you would use to describe your experience with the Ideas World Cup? So if you could take a moment and think about a word that you would use to describe your experience and type it in to your cell phone, then we can see what your responses are. And if you're feeling particularly passionate, you might have more than one word. So feel free to write more than one word. But what are the words you would use to describe your experience?
Oh, lovely. It's starting to take shape. So those of you who have done word clouds before know that the larger the type on a particular word, the more people have used that word. And so you start to see a kind of a focus. And here we can see fun and inspiring are pretty central and pretty large. But there are other words too: passion, inspirational, passionate, phenomenal, challenging, and so on. And just by doing that, those words start to embed themselves in your sense, in your memory of the event as a whole. I love fun and inspiring. I love that fun is in there, because one of the things that people think sometimes is that, all this creativity stuff, it's very serious stuff. It's not serious. It's fun. And the more we play, the more fun it can be. And interestingly enough, the more creative we can be. Mm-hmm. So this whole idea of play is absolutely central to the creative process, to creative thinking. If it ain't fun, we're probably not doing it right. I love how these are unfold, Cindy.
It's beautiful.
It really is. It really is. And joyful, there's a word, joyful. And, you see repeated words. So we have inspiring, but other people say inspirational. So there's a kind of a layering of all of these feelings: passion, love.
Beautiful. And we can send these out, Mark, as well to the participants so they can see what they generated.
Really.
All right. Should we go on to the next slide, Tim?
Let's go to the next slide. Okay. So thinking about your experience as a whole, we talked about single words. What would you say was the most significant or useful thing that you discovered? What was the most useful thing that happened during this period for you? What was the most significant thing? And you can make it a sentence. It doesn't have to be just a single word. Take a moment and think about it. What happened for you that you thought, oh, that was really great. That was really important. I'm glad that happened. Connecting with new people around the world. Lots of ideas. And great people, great ideas.
Dare to dream and give ideas space to become even bigger. This is definitely a time we need to dream.
It is.
Education must be creative.
Whoa,
yes.
I love that one. So many creative tools, building up a broader network. So the themes seem to be two. One is people, and the other one is the process of generating ideas. And the two are really inextricable. They are two sides of a coin. Thinking more deeply about projects that you're passionate about. Lovely. And great ideas, just great ideas. Sharing ideas. One of the things that we find, Cindy and I, is that one of the ways to get more ideas, get better ideas, is literally to hear other people's ideas and build on them. So that the more ideas that come onto the table, it's like yeast in bread, it just grows and grows and grows, simply because some person has uttered an idea and you then build on the idea, change it a little bit, make it your own, and then somebody does the same thing with your idea. And it literally, it blooms like a flower.
Tim, I love this piece on renewed the belief in creativity as the answer to the future, because I do believe that if we can teach more people how to be creative and open-minded and curious, then we can work together and solve some of these wicked problems that our world is dealing with right now. So I love that idea. I love them all, but just wanted to point that one out.
Well, and the getting to know other cultures and challenges from other parts of the world. One of the other things that we notice is that diversity is one of the central issues in creativity. If we can hear ideas that we otherwise wouldn't encounter, they spark for us things that we never would have thought of ourselves. And so when you put different people in a room, whether it's a virtual room or a real room, put them together, give them a safe space so that they can express their ideas. Ideas just start multiplying like rabbits.
This one here, not all ideas are great, but all ideas really matter in some way. And I think what you're touching upon is the openness piece around creativity and deferring judgment and really listening to others' ideas, even though they might not be an idea you want to take away. Tim and I remember in our first session talked about ideas are just ideas. So we can really think about them in a broad sense of this might work, this might not work, but that's okay because we put it out on the table. So I love that.
Feeling part of the whole, being able to make a difference. And making a difference. And I like to add to what Cindy said about not all ideas are great. There's nothing in looking at a seed that tells you what the flower or the plant is going to be. You have no idea what that seed is going to become. And it's the same with some ideas. First, you think of an idea, you say, well, that doesn't seem all that cool, all that interesting. And yet, if you nurture it, if you let it grow, if you let it sprout, suddenly something appears that you never anticipated. But it started from this thing that was just a seed, not a flower. Ideas don't start as flowers. They literally start as seeds.
Ooh, let's go on to the next question.
Let's do it.
So what surprised you the most during this process? And what leads you to say that? So what surprised you? What's something that you thought, wow, I didn't realize that, or I didn't notice that before? We would love to hear from you.
And this one may take a little thought, but you can review your experience. And again, that's part of the purpose here. And see what surprised you.
Yes.
That I can be creative.
Yes. Let's give a standing ovation to that one, Tim.
Oh, yeah. Generosity.
Reading ideas in different languages.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh, the level of emotion. Yeah, the level of emotion. Another absolutely central, integrated part of idea making. It's not just cognitive. It's really, it's in your body. It's in your heart. It's the feeling that you generate.
Yes, Tim, because those feelings, they give us hope. When you can imagine new possibilities, it gives you hope for a better future.
Absolutely. Oh, and I love this last one here. How many people not directly working in the education field have fabulous ideas? This cross-fertilization is another thing that is so stimulating. Other people have other experiences, different perspectives on life. And if we put those together with other people who have different perspectives, once again, you start generating more ideas. I love there is no such idea as can't. No such thing as can't, sorry. And the telling of stories. Yeah. This is so heartful to read. It's so hopeful, as you say, Cindy. There's a lot of hope in these sentences.
Yes.
I was able to dig deeper and articulate my ideas according to the questions set. Also to see the scope of everyone's ideas from around the world. That's another thing, that digging deeper, not to be satisfied with the first idea or the first way of expressing the idea, but to do it again and do it again and do it again. And just like when you're painting a picture, you add a line and that line starts taking a shape, and then you add a color, and then you add shades. Same with ideas. The amount of different ideas possible for a single challenge. Yeah.
That piece around wonder, it always comes up. I love it. Starting to pay attention and make to wonder. Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Paying it forward. Maybe we should move on to the next one.
Yes, I just want to point out, it feels good to be part of a broader community outside of my own. And I know that Allison's going to be talking later about becoming part of a bigger community. So let's do one more question, Tim. Believe I can change something so big.
And it became big.
I know. I don't even know how I did that.
Okay. What is the one thing that you learned that you think you can apply to your work or your home situation? What is the one thing that you say to yourself, boy, I should be doing that. I really should be doing that.
Oh, yes.
Hmm.
Bringing people together. I think bringing people together after this pandemic, when we've all been so separated and isolated, is critical. And being creative together and playing together.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's so true. You know, we sometimes, there's that phrase, thinking inside, outside the box, both. And yet sometimes we assume that creativity only belongs in one small part of our lives, but it doesn't. It's a life skill. It belongs everywhere. There's no such place where you go into a particular room and say, this is where I'm going to be creative. I'm going to be creative. You can be creative all the time, anytime. And it can be part of the way you grow. It can be part of the way you relate to your family. It can be part of the way you understand your community. It can be part of your studying. There's no end to the utilization. And you did it again, Cindy. It popped up big.
I know. Staying open to ideas.
Be bold. Bold. Courage is a huge component of creativity. To be bold, to be courageous. Sometimes it takes courage. I would say always it takes courage myself in my case.
Well, you know, E. Paul Torrance talked about being independent, you know, being creative is about being independent in your thinking. So it takes courage to be independent in your thinking and to come up with new ideas that may not have been put out there before.
Just lovely. Just lovely. These are going to be recorded and available, right? Right, Cindy? I mean,
yes, these can be sent out. We can send these to Mark and Juan, and if they'd like to share these with everyone, I think this is a beautiful debrief in terms of what they've learned, and it's just been a joy to look at this at 8:00 on a Friday morning to see what you've actually been working on and working hard on, and I look forward to hearing what's next with the Ideas World Cup. And thank you so much. Oh, we've got more. That's my
goodness, right? We have
conversations lead to more ideas. Yes, let's all talk more.
We have a collage of ideas about ideas. I like that. I'm going to read these questions together. Other sessions and readings. Oh, cool. Okay.
Wonderful. All right. I will pass it back over to Mark.
Cindy and Tim, thank you so much for hosting this space and again for spending time. We know it's very early in the morning, and as Cindy said, what a joy to wake up and to feel the inspiration that's been co-created around the world. To the two of you, thanks so much again for your valuable time. We loved having you on board, and please stay till the end. We've got some exciting things happening. And right now, I'm blessed to have the opportunity to introduce to anybody that's online that hasn't already met Allison James, the executive director of the BIC Foundation and our co-sponsor, or our main sponsor, for Ideas World Cup, the 6th edition. Allison, thanks for joining us again. I thought it would be a great opportunity for us to just remind the people, why did the BIC Foundation get behind Ideas World Cup, and why are you so interested in creativity as well?
Sure. Well, hi, everybody. And thank you so much, Mark, for all of your wonderful work. First of all, in hosting Ideas World Cup. You know, without you and Juan, we would not be having this great celebration today. So the foundation, really, this topic of creativity and innovation is at the heart of what the foundation does. The BIC Foundation is really focused on creativity, innovation, finding and funding programs that really give access to quality education to inspire and empower our youth. So we're very focused at the foundation on supporting programs that build creative skills, that enable those young people to build stronger, more inclusive, more creative communities, And so at the end of the day, the opportunity to sponsor Ideas World Cup, the opportunity to set the theme of how to inspire creativity in education was just a great fit for us. And it's been just absolutely wonderful, joyful, inspiring to read all of the great and the creative ideas on the platform. And I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's been involved, all of the organizers, all of the participants. Every single idea counts, even if you're not the winner today. I want you to know that those ideas are going to be really looked at and really reviewed. And we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. I do want to also share that our president of BIC and the president of the BIC Foundation, so our CEO and president, Gonzalo BIC, would have loved to have been here today, but he was unable to because of his schedule. But he did shoot a little short video, which we would love to play for you guys, just to say thank you for your participation. So here's a little message from Gonzalo BIC.
Apologies for that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gonzalo BIC, CEO of BIC. On behalf of our company and the BIC Foundation, I'd like to extend a personal thank you to the organizers and participants of the 6th edition of Ideas World Cup. Now, at BIC, we believe that every person, everywhere, should have access to a well-rounded education, which is why we've been supporting the development of new and innovative ways of learning for more than 70 years. In 2018, we set a goal to positively impact the learning conditions of 250 million children all over the world by 2025 through a commitment we called Writing the Future Together. And partnering with important initiatives like the Idea World Cup is one of the ways that we're delivering on this promise, providing children with creativity skills that will help them reach their full potential. Thank you for being part of this global movement. Thank you for your incredible ideas. And thank you for making a difference.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you so much for bringing in his voice. And we do feel very honored to have the support from the BIC Foundation. As we've said a few times, it is the 6th edition. And Juan, the founder, I'd like to bring in your voice, Juan, just to perhaps bring in a little bit of excitement around what it means to get the support and what we need to focus on in terms of making the announcement for this year's most creative city. We've got
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm very excited to kick off this award ceremony. We have some awards to deliver today, and we also have some very impressive announcements that we are going to do very shortly. But first, we have to name the most creative city in the world, and the winner of this category. And you know that we have an award for the city and also for the most creative ideas. And the most creative city this year was Stoke-on-Trent from the Stafford University. So congratulations.
Yay, this is great news.
So congratulations for being the most creative city in the world. And I'm very excited that different years, we had different winners, and they are from different continents. Like every year we change from a continent to another, and it's really incredible to see how different cities from different parts of the world share a common challenge and can add their ideas and can contribute to create a more creative space, whether that is in education, whether that is in any of the sustainability goals that we work on. So congratulations. You will be receiving your trophy shortly.
Brilliant. Juan, are we going to be bringing in the voice of Mr. Carl McCormack from Staffordshire University? We know Carl.
Yes, brilliant. Carl is present, so let's invite him to the stage. So
hi.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Congratulations.
How exciting! Thank you so much. To be honest, it is just great to be part of this completely. And those with Tim and Cindy earlier on going on about the joyfulness, the inspiring. Alison was using the same words. It's just great to be part of it and to have been able to just get people together, just generate ideas, just have conversations. To be honest, it's truly been rewarding. This is the first year that I've actually heard about it and got involved, and thank you, Juan, for sort of suggesting it to us as well, and Mark with your constant social media support as well, which is lovely. It's just a great team, everybody coming together, and yeah, just really chuffed. Thank you very much.
And Carl, maybe just before we say thanks very much for coming in and receiving the award for the most creative city, what does it feel like to get a badge like that, the most creative city? And you're a professor of business and science, aren't you, and accounting and stuff like that? So how have you brought these two worlds together? And most importantly, the question is, what do you think this inspires the students and the institution, Staffordshire University, to want to do further in regards to creativity and the education that you're busy creating?
Yeah, well, I mean, Stoke-on-Trent was grounded on ceramics and making plates and bowls, and you've probably heard of Wedgwood, but it all started in Stoke-on-Trent. Those people that started to be creative, shape things. It's not just a bowl, is it? But, you know, it suddenly becomes a plate that we put on the wall because of the pattern that we've got on it. And to be able to continue that, it all starts from a small idea. And I think to be in a hub like a university where we've got students being creative, students being critical and asking questions, and obviously led by the academics, I think is just a testament to the youth that we've got, the people that are interested in trying to solve ideas, and also just that people want to engage. They want to engage in ideas like this. They want to try and bring things together. We even got the community involved. We even had people from outside of the university, but around Stoke-on-Trent, to come in, and we did idea funds with them. And it again, just inspiring that we can get people together and to have generated the most ideas. And you know, every single one of them ideas had something tremendous in them. And we split it down into ideas for the community, local ideas, and global ideas as well. And I just wish that we could solve them all.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we thank you, and to all of the students and community members that got involved. We're amped that it is a university that can receive this award, especially with this year's most important theme. And as our good friend Tim was mentioning earlier, that diversity of ideas that you probably had by bringing community members into the space as well is fantastic. Here's our little award banner for you. We hope that the cup will receive its way to you very soon. And again, thank you so much for your time today, Carl. We wish you and the university all the best with your continued Imagineering. Keep going forth and bringing brilliant ideas. Well done.
And just thank you to all the team and to the BIC Foundation, obviously, for sponsoring as well. Brilliant. Just everything coming together. So thank you very much indeed. You are all truly wonderful people.
Oh, great. Thanks again, Carl. Well, on that note, I'd love to turn back to Allison James and invite Allison to speak a little bit more. I've heard we've got one of the prizes, big prize that's available for the winner this year is come from the Watson Institute, right? Allison, can you share us a little bit more about how this happened and the detail of what's actually going in? We know that 10 finalists from Ideas World Cup have an opportunity to be fast-tracked to the final round, right, for the Watson Institute large prize. So they haven't won yet, but they're now rubbing shoulders with other incredible creative teams that are all pitching to receive this prize. Tell us more about the Watson Institute, please.
Yeah, sure. Well, look, this is a fabulous, fabulous world-class program. It's called the Accelerator. So it's the Watson Institute's flagship program. And the Watson Institute is a not-for-profit education organization based out of Boulder, Colorado. If anybody's ever been to Boulder, you will know it is the most beautiful part of the country. This particular program launched in 2013. It's an 18-week intensive that is designed to help impact-oriented entrepreneurs really make their ideas work, come to fruition. So it's so fitting that we're talking about Ideas World Cup, and here we have this fabulous training program potentially available for one lucky winner. So the way that this works is that the top 10 finalists from the competition are going to be fast-tracked to go into the selection process. This 18-week program kicks off with a 3-week in-person immersive in Boulder, Colorado. So potentially a lucky winner would get to go to Boulder, Colorado. And then there's 15 weeks after the first 3 weeks. There's 15 weeks of program support that takes place virtually. And because of the fundraising and the great generosity of the Watson Institute's partners, their corporate partners and their individual partners, the 2022 Accelerator is going to be the first fully funded program. And that means that no incoming social impact entrepreneur will have to pay tuition. So this is an amazing potential prize to the value of $17,500. And as you said, Mark, the top 10 finalists, we will put their information forward to the Watson Institute. They will be fast-tracked into the final phase of the interview process. And it's important to know that this is a very prestigious, if I can even say that word. It's a great program. They have on average over between 350 and 400 applications for each accelerator program, and the accelerator program only admits 30 participants. So if you simply Google the Watson Institute, you can find out more about that program. And we're really delighted to be partnering with them, because I really feel that this focus on supporting social impact entrepreneurship is so important. And it would be fabulous if some of these ideas that have come up as part of Ideas World Cup, it would be so fabulous if they could not just be ideas, but obviously be brought to fruition through the fabulous work that could be potentially supported by the learning of the Watson Institute program. So that's great news.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really great to hear that this year, through this kind of collaborative support that we've gained by partnering and being sponsored, that the reach of these ideas has another kind of burst of opportunity and support and mentorship and potential funding. For us, this is like a dream come true, because not only do we believe that the power of ideas to change the world, but it's ideas in action that really, where obviously the rubber hits the road, as it were. So we're really thrilled that the ecosystem can kind of build and grow in this way, and that we can all nurture it from our different perspectives. Again, thank you very much for enabling this, and how exciting for all of our participants now to be watching going, what's going to happen? Am I going to be one of the winning teams? And I'm right in saying it's one person, right, that could get fast-tracked out of any of the winning teams, just to be clear. So if you're in a team of 3, 4, or 5, you'll have to have an arm wrestle or choose who's the best person in your team to receive and experience this potential experience with the Watson Institute. Allison, I'd like to kind of turn us around the corner now and also ask you to tell us a little bit. I've heard about this exciting news about the Creativity Pioneers Fund, and can you just kind of enlighten us what this is and what it means? Because obviously, as we close Ideas World Cup, when we talk about an ecosystem that we're busy hopefully continuing to build with you, the BIC Foundation, the creativity community of practice, there's some very exciting ground in front of us to explore together, right? So could you speak a little bit into the CCOP, please?
Sure. Yeah. Well, there's two separate things there to talk about, actually, Mark. First of all, the Creativity Pioneers Fund was born out of a connection that I made through the creativity community of practice. So I know I've talked about the community of practice before on some of the webinars, but let me just do a quick reminder for those who might not have heard about it. We founded the Creativity Community of Practice maybe about a year ago now, and it's designed to bring together educators, consultants, not-for-profit leaders, anybody essentially in the world that has a passion for creativity in education. We want to be a catalyst, kind of a glue, if you like, that brings all of these really great people together, because we feel creativity in education is underserved. We feel there's a lot of expertise. We feel there's a disconnect between the researchers and the practitioners and the people that are in the schools, etc. And so we want to create this global community to be a mashup of all of these great people that can share best practices, etc., etc. So, and by the way, we'll put into the link the creativity community of practice. If you want to get involved, the best thing to do, again, you can just Google BIC Creativity Community of Practice. You will be able to get to our landing page on bic.com, which explains about the community of practice. And then you'll see a link to our LinkedIn group. And we have an onboarding orientation session that's coming up on June the 2nd or the 3rd, if I'm not wrong. So the bottom line is we're really trying to build momentum through the community of practice. Anyway, going back to the Creativity Pioneers Fund, it was through the creativity. Sorry, go ahead, Mark. You were going to say something?
I just thought there was just one quick question. I'm sorry to jump in your flow, but so who's invited to the Creativity Community of Practice? Who
anybody.
are we looking for? So anybody.
Yes,
right?
Anybody. Yes. It's definitely so if you think about a community of practice, it's created by the members for the members. This is not the BIC Foundation's community. This is a global community. Anybody can join. Yes, we are the ones that the foundation that are organizing the monthly meetings. And yes, we've got a manifesto and a structure, and we're helping to facilitate and support. But this truly is a member-led. And we've got people from Brazil, we've got people from South Africa, we've got people from India, we've got people from the UK, from the US. I mean, it's a really global community. And many of the people who have joined have said the beauty of what they've found is that opportunity in the space of education to be with people from multiple countries. The diversity has been just fabulous. So yeah, please do check us out online and come join us. And it's a community where you can dip in and dip out. You don't have to attend every single monthly meeting. You can be on the periphery, and then you can come in, and get more involved.
I will warn you though, that if you're considering it, it's quite a sticky place. I got stuck there in a joyful way, because what I found in the community of practice is that it's rich and there's so much to learn from the different types of thinking from researchers, practitioners, and facilitators. There's a link here that Juan's just sharing for everybody. You can go straight, as Allison said, to the bic.com website and find links there. There's also a link that Juan's just put in directly to the CCOP LinkedIn page there. Exactly. Tell us a little bit briefly, just with an interest of time, around the Creativity Pioneers Fund. What's that all?
Yeah. So coming back to the Pioneers Fund, this connection happened through the community of practice. I got connected with the Moleskine Foundation, which is a fabulous organization that's focused on creativity for social impact. So last year, they launched their first Creativity Pioneers Fund. And in 2021, it was really launched to provide a rapid response to organizations that were impacted by the COVID pandemic. So the bottom line is that this particular fund is focused on providing micro grants to creativity pioneers, to individuals that are using creativity for social impact. In the first cycle, there were over 450 applications, 76 different countries represented in those applications. And what the Moleskine Foundation did was it took 10 of those applications, and it provided a €5,000 micro grant to help those creativity pioneers get their idea off the ground. What we're doing with the BIC Foundation and the Creativity Pioneers Fund and the Moleskine Foundation is we're coming together now to build an even bigger fund. And our hope is that we attract more bigger creativity brands to bring even more funding in. So we'll have a second edition this year. We've got some amazing examples of past participants that are on the website. So again, you can Google that and check that out at the Moleskine Foundation's website. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is we want to not just give money and do a €5,000 micro grant. That's great, but we want to create a broader ecosystem, a network to support those creativity pioneers. So we'll be building out learning and development opportunities. We'll be connecting those pioneers to each other. We'll be creating events, etc. And we really think that this is the best way to try and support these entrepreneurs that are focused on creativity for social impact. So look out for more information. The second version of the fund has not launched yet, but if everybody just goes and does what we all do these days and follows us on LinkedIn, follows us on Twitter, follows the Moleskine Foundation, etc., you will be sure to see the announcements that will be coming up in a couple of months.
That's so brilliant. And it's really an encouragement to all of the organizers and participants. If your idea or the number of ideas wasn't chosen, it's not over yet. You might be in love with your ideas, although we're invited to not fall too deeply in love with our ideas. But if you have something that you're still passionate about, then please do remember it's not over. You know, it's the first iteration of your idea going through a round. What happens if you polish it and put it in under other eyeballs, as they say? So it's really a strong encouragement. Stay connected. Look out for the Creativity Pioneers Fund. Now, this is the moment where I'd love to invite Juan back into the space to talk about where do we go from next, and do we need to talk about the winner? Juan.
All right, so it's time. It's time to, we are getting to the final award. I want to start by saying that we introduced this award only 2 years ago. This is the second time we give this award, because until now, we wanted to be the only competition that rewarded quantity, because all the competitions reward quality. And we that work at Creativity, we always say, quantity breeds quality. You know, divergence is the basics of a good conversion. So generating lots of ideas is key to have one big idea. But then we only give a reward to the single best idea. So we wanted to be a different kind of competition out there where, you know, we're going to celebrate quantity. That's why we started with the most creative city in the world award. But then the ideas started to become better and better every year. So they jump from a post-it to a proposal, from a proposal to a kind of business plan. And we say, hey, we have great things here that can really transform the world. So we want to not only celebrate the best ideas, but help them become a reality. And that's what the award is all about, is to help the best ideas become a reality. And thanks to the sponsorship from the big foundation, we have the CCOP that will be reviewing and working on the ideas for the future of education. We have the Watson Institute that will be reviewing the best ideas to choose a winner that may go there for their program. We have the Pioneers Fund that where some of these ideas can apply to get the micro grants. So we're celebrating creativity, but at the same time, we are making change possible. Change in education is possible if together we create these bigger communities. And we are supported by big foundation, but we're really big supporters of the creativity community of practice. We believe in their mission, we believe what they do, and we will never be sponsored by somebody that, you know, is not aligned with what we believe. And we believe in creativity, they do too, and they believe that creativity can change the world, and we do as well, as everybody that has participated in this event. So it was really tough to choose the best idea. That's why we have several awards for a lot of people, and not just the winner idea, but we have to name one. So it was incredible, the level of traction that these ideas got. We have thousands of votes during these last few days in the final session, but votes are only a small part of what we take in account to decide the best idea. A jury that was composed by members from Ideas World Cup, also from members from the CCOP, which you can be and join and be member too, voted on the ideas that they find could be the most impactful, and taking into account the votes, the comments, and also the votes from the jury, we decided which one was the best idea for this year, that will receive 5,000 euros in training and mentoring to empower this idea, to make it a reality, and to also scale it and make it bigger. So, Mark, do you want to know who the winner is?
Tell me, it's a drum roll on the chest.
All right, so the winner is Learn by Rapping from Israel Sornotha from Quito. So great. Congratulations to Israel and Quito for having the best idea from the competition. This idea received more than 800 votes, but also 800 comments. This started as a small idea a few years ago. Actually, Israel participated in the previous Ideas World Cup with a different idea, slightly different. He didn't win, but he decided to keep moving forward with his idea anywhere. And now he has a community of over 400,000 people and is ready for the next step. So we believe in people like Israel that, have those ideas, and they are not discouraged, if they are not the winner of a competition. They are inspired by coming together with a lot of people and passion to transform the world. And this idea, we think, has the potential to transform the world, because it's not just teaching by rapping, but it's also he's proposing how to collaborate with schools and with teachers to help them with specific things that students have problem with, how that process will be. So it's not just an idea in a post-it, it's a very well thought out solution that is very creative, and that, as we have seen in the States with Hamilton, that has break barriers, and went all around the world, we can maybe multiply that in a lot of different settings. So congratulations, Israel. And we're very proud of every one of you that participated. So please keep connected, because we have the Watson Institute, the Pioneers Fund, and more importantly, the Creativity Community of Practice to make this idea a reality. So thank you, Mark, and back to you to close the event.
Thank you very much, Juan, and congratulations to Israel and the team. I'm super amped to hear this news, and really just big kudos to each and every single person, all of those people that we don't know that helped make Ideas World Cup 2022 one of the most challenging years I remember in terms of what we've come through, but also one of the most inspirational in terms of us reconnecting to our humanity, reaching out across borders, collaborating on platforms like this. It's really been something that's given me a lot of juice and inspiration thus far in 2022. I'd like to thank our sponsor for one final time on a purple screen. Hopefully it'll be a different color in the future. Allison, it's been a joy to work with you and the whole team at BIC. Thank you so much for everything that you've brought into this creative space. We look forward to further collaborations. And to close out, I'd love to invite Dr. Cindy Burnett and Tim Herson. Thank you so much for hosting us from top to end. I'd love to close out and offer you the final words. What do you see? What do you feel? And what are your wishes moving forward?
This is a crazy, wonderful experience. Congratulations to Israel. I think the thought that I would like to leave with, and I know that Cindy and I share this one, ideas have a very special kind of economy. If you have $1 or €1 or a piece of chocolate and you give it to your friend, you don't have that $1 anymore. You don't have that €1. You don't have that piece of chocolate. But if you share an idea, you double it. Now 2 people have that idea. And if that person shares the idea, 4 people have that idea, and so on and so on and so on. It is the only thing that we know of, other than love, in the world, that the more you share it, the bigger it grows. And for me, that is the real magic of
Beautiful
creativity,
words.
the real magic of ideas.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tim. Cindy.
Beautiful, Tim, and congratulations, Israel. I would like to also say that as you continue to go on with your life and you think about next year, the Ideas World Cup, continue join us for next year. But I would also like you to think about how you can bring this into your life and into your community, and to continue to think about those ideas, because as I mentioned earlier, ideas give us hope. And right now, with all the things that we're challenged with in the world, it's really important to keep that mindset into frame and to keep open to others' ideas and to get curious when you don't understand and to continue to lead with that creative mindset.
Beautiful. Cindy, thank you so much. Tim, thank you.
Thanks so much for having us.
My final word is just a big shout out to my art teacher who put me on a creative path when I was in my early teens. I got the chance to visit the school last week. Why would I mention my art teacher? Because we want you to know that work has been going on and still will continue going on. Look out for some more media that's be shared by all of us next week. We're in the collaborative process of collating voices from young people around the world that we felt were really important to be centered to this conversation. And a massive thank you to the media department, to Russell, and all the students that helped pose some of the questions and answered some of those questions. And you'll be hearing these young people's voices answering the question, what is creativity, in a very inspirational way, with some short kind of show reel takes from what's happened in this year's Ideas World Cup 2022. To all of you, stay forth in Imagineering and Impossibility. Thank you again, and we look forward to collaborating creatively with you very soon. Take care, everybody.